What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the 4th day of September, and here we are, sitting at about 1.036 cents. Looking like we do have a little bit lower to go, and that's okay, right? NFL starts today, Cowboys at Eagles. Beautiful. Can't wait. I definitely will not be going live during that time or making videos. I should go live soon, though. It's been a while. We'll have to. I'll have to go live just to keep morale up, man, because these are some trying times right now, right? People are getting excited that was the low, all this stuff, right? Here we are back to talking about lower lows today. Flip floppy, but we were expecting lower lows for Bitcoin anyways. At least over the past few days, we have been looking at OnyxCoin. I would also expect some slightly lower lows. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, looking at this on the 1 hour, the RSI is bearish, right? You could not even get overbought. You're getting oversold deeply, but you're not getting overbought at all, or barely, I should say. Getting oversold very promptly after that. You had to work your way up to get overbought, and you just had a taste of it here. You got oversold, little taste, but you're coming back down. It looks like, and you did that with ease. It seems living below the 50, broke out of your uptrend, all that stuff. We were pointing this out yesterday, right? You broke out of your uptrend a little bit. It would make sense that you come down. 1 hour RSI looks bearish. Stochastics look bearish, rejecting the oversold zone here. And the MACD, while you were promoting some form of bullish divergence here, you're now getting rid of that, it looks like, if you do move lower, and I think you will. I doubt that this holds its support, so lower you go. Absolutely lower you go. And again, we have gaps down here. We have some gaps right down at these lows. So the best case scenario would be that we hold a double bottom as support. And maybe we do for a time. Maybe we get down here, we hold a double bottom, but then we move lower, right? Something like that. I would think that we go lower than this low. The area in question would be something of about 0099 to 0096, perhaps even as low as 009 itself, somewhere around there. I doubt that we get below 009, and in fact, I would not be too, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't count on anything below 0095 coming into play, but a little bit lower price action would be expected. Bitcoin's going to go lower, but it's not going to be dramatic. I don't expect OnyxCoin to get a dramatic result as of that. So looking at all these indicators, definitely bearish right now. We flipped bullish for a moment. We didn't do much with it. Flipped somewhat bullish here, didn't do much with it. Same thing with the MACD. But these indicators, the stochastics and the MACD, they're less reliable whenever you're moving sideways like this, especially on these shorter term time frames. 4 hour time frame here, very bearish on the 4 hour. That was one of our weakest kind of results here. Typically, you go a little bit higher before you find resistance, so pretty weak result. Coming back down to the oversold zone. Typically, we have been getting into the oversold zone, not bouncing off of it, though we have seen bounces off the oversold zone here and there as well. So, it's possible that we could be bouncing here, but again, looking at the 1 hour, I would think we go lower. Stochastics have just gotten oversold. Typically, this means that we go lower. The MACD has yet to cross red. Typically that means we go lower, so probably we do see some lower lows. Again, something at around 0099 to 009 itself. I'm thinking maybe right in the middle there. If we're looking at this overall from this very significant divot, this low to high here, we've got our golden ratio down at 009 itself, providing substantial support if we get there. The 1414 could provide support as well, but typically what you do is you will wick just below it and then come back up and close. So if we see a wick below the 1414 and we close above it, we will be looking for signs that the low is in. But if not, it's very probable that we go down to 009. So maybe we actually do go to 009. Maybe that is more of a probable outcome than I was expecting it to be. We could go lower. I am expecting that whenever we move up from this overall high to low fib extension here, we hit the 1886200 whenever we move up, which is all the way up at 26 to 32 cents. We made sense out of that yesterday. But sometimes whenever you find resistance at a point, if you're expected to find resistance there, sometimes you do come down and you find support at that same area, right? The 1886200 level. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we went all the way down here. It's not my expectation. It's not what I would call for at the moment, but that would give us a double bottom look. We'd probably eat that up just as fast as it came. Understand, guys, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not calling for us to go to 008 or lower, but the lowest possibility that I could see us achieving would be 0074. If that were to happen, it would happen swiftly. It would be over just as swiftly, if not more swiftly, and we would recover and it would be fine. Everything's going to be fine, right? Double bottom look is actually a very positive thing. It's not a bad thing at all, but it's not something that I'd prefer we do. I'd rather us just hold here, keep this higher low look, give us the old 1, 2, 3 ABC correction, and then move up. Sometimes with these ABC corrections, though, this leg here is a little bit longer than that first leg. Let's actually look at this. I don't know if it would be this whole, would it be this whole leg is the A, or would it just be this high to low? I don't know. But if we take the whole one, to be more pessimistic, that lines up. It lines up pretty perfectly with that golden ratio. I don't think that's a coincidence. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but probably not. Lower we go. That's the expectation here. So after we find support there, we should be moving up higher. Where is that? Is that also at another fib? Let's see. Low to high here. No. It's just above the 886, which is fine, whatever. I think we've done that before, but that's fine, yeah. I would think that after we hit that area, we're going to move up. Looking at the daily time frame here, the daily RSI is bearish. It's in the same area here that it was last time it bounced, so we're definitely coming to the ends of this bearish time. We're kind of moving sideways down here, and moving sideways is better, I suppose, than moving down to a certain degree. But whenever you're moving sideways in these lower areas, that actually gives you a lot of chance to decay over time. So, and as we've seen, that's exactly what's happened. You do have some bullish divergence here, but has that move played out already? Not really. You might further that bullish divergence before moving higher. Rejecting the stochastics right here, coming back down. That's not a good look. And then the daily MACD, that's boring, but it's also bad. Looks bad. So, weekly time frame. Here's where things start to get a little bit more interesting, right? We are still maintaining higher lows on a macro scale. We've kind of broken out of this uptrend, which I don't like to see. I'm not proud of that, the fact that we broke out of that uptrend, but we are in the same area here that we were whenever we saw that fantastic pump going into November into January, late January there. So we're at the same area here that we were there for that bounce. I would expect that we get into the overbought zone. We have a very overall robust and healthy weekly RSI. Okay, it's very, very nice to see. The stochastics are oversold. We're also at the same area here in the stochastics that we were last when we were at the bottom point of this long-term downtrend as well. We moved sideways for a bit and then we moved up. I doubt that we're going to move sideways for too long, because I feel like that's what we're doing now, is kind of moving sideways and down. We've been moving down for quite some time. And if we compare this from a time scale, let's actually look at this real quick. Date range. From here to the low, and maybe not even the low, from there to the time we started to move up. Okay, how about that? That's 34 weeks. Okay, from here to the time that we start to move up, we haven't moved up yet, so we're at 32 weeks. It's a very comparable from both the weekly RSI and the stochastics. It's very comparable as far as where we are on these levels, on these readings. And it's also pretty damn comparable in time. I think we are about to start moving up. The only thing here is, this move up was the result of like your first kind of sign of hope that things were doing good, right? This is like you just got done with your bear market. You're just kind of figuring things out. You got your higher low, so now things look good, right? Here we are knowing that we're in a bull market with this thing. We have higher lows. We're finding support at prior areas of resistance back here. Finding support, or I guess actually, if we're being fair, where did we find support? It wasn't there. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but to some degree it was a fake out, right? We largely did find support right back here, but there was some consolidation around here as well that we probably found some support at, and that is your 0.5 overall. If we take the low to high, I'm pretty sure low to high here, that is your 0.5 fib retracement there. So, anyways, though. It's different. I just think it's different, right? Here we're coming out of the negative times. Here we're going to continue off of these positive times. I would think that we don't see this long lull in between where we're moving sideways, right? That's actually kind of what we're doing here now. But we're going to move up. We're going to move up in a matter of no time at all. And whenever we do move up, it'll be like 26 to 32 cents that we go to. We made sense out of that in my last OnyxCoin video. I don't want to do it now, but just even at the most pessimistic that we could be, the price action didn't make sense at all. But that put us at about exactly where my cursor is right now, at about 5.4 cents, 5.6 cents, something like that. And it doesn't really make any sense to go there. It's possible, anything can happen, but even that is from this current price, that would be a 5.6x, which outperforms the average altcoin. But that was the most pessimistic we could be, and even to like an unrealistic standpoint. Okay, the most realistic a pessimistic outcome we could have, which is still pretty unrealistic, took us to about 11 to 16 cents, right? Somewhere in that zone. So even from here, that's a 11x to 16x, right? But the realistic outcomes that we had, the things that made the most sense and we saw the most congruence in the charts with, it makes sense to go to that 26 to 32 cent area, which is at our high here to low here at the 1886 to 200 level. If you want to know more about that, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this. We've gone over this plenty of times, but if you want to know more about that, just watch my last XCN video, okay? The most recent one that I've made. It should, toward the end there, we go over why this makes so much sense and why none of this, especially as we go lower on the totem pole here, just makes less and less sense to stop anywhere else. You look at this chart overall, massive accumulation, massive accumulation. We stopped here right at this kind of consolidation point here right before we fell off a cliff. Okay, we even found resistance here on a weekly wick right here where we dropped like 40%, 50% in a day, right here at this top weekly closing price area, this resistance point of this little consolidation zone. Okay, the only area to go to whenever we break out, the only area left is like all-time highs or new all-time highs. Like the only thing left to do, there's not really any other areas that make sense to stop, right? You don't stop at random points. You stop at these little consolidation phases. You stop at these little consolidation phases. That's where this wick was. Here, you stopped at this little consolidation phase. You don't stop in these in-between areas. And that next consolidation phase would be all the way up here at about like 10 cents or higher. But again, from a pessimistic and realistic point of view, 11 to 16 cents makes a little bit of sense, but I highly doubt that we stop there. Could we stop there? Sure. It's in our it's in our primary target zone. Do I expect we stop there? No. Right. Whenever we get to 26 to 32 cents, again, all the trolls, all the disbelievers, whenever it happens, right? Me, you, the people investing in this and DCAing in this and holding through all the boringness and turmoil, we're the ones that are having conviction, right? Having conviction is not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but if you're more aware of what your project is and what the capabilities are, it's easier to have conviction. All you got to do is buy and hold, right? It's that simple, but it's also that difficult. We've been doing the work, right? We're doing the work. We're having the faith. We're putting it in. We're being patient. Remember that, because whenever we go up to 26 to 32 cents, all the haters now who are saying it's going to zero, they're saying it's going to zero. There's no chance this thing's a scam. It's a fraud. C-Zar is going to rug pull you. I don't own a majority share in this at all. I'm in like the top 200 wallets, but I'm definitely not the top dog here. I don't have that much money. That's nice, but no, I don't have enough to rug people on this thing. And I wouldn't rug people anyways. It's not my style. I'd rather people rug me. Like I'd rather, because if I had a project and I let all my constituents sell first, I'm probably still making money on that project. I wouldn't make cash hand over fist, but I would still probably do well. But I'm not. That's not how it is. Anyways, I'm entertaining thoughts that I shouldn't entertain. The main point that I'm trying to make here is the same people who are dogging us now. Whenever we're up here and we get to say "I told you so," we knew it all along. It took more time to get there, but we knew it all along. They're gonna say, "You got lucky. You got lucky. You're just lucky that it went here, right? We went through all this. We went through arguably a worse time than what we had here. Went through all this, and you just got lucky. Once it's at 26 to 32 cents, remember, that's what they're going to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Buy now, cope later, as Soul Saver would say. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.